Pointed a gun at a baby.
These are true stories. Make me so sad.
7 fresh burglary warrants. Just put on the system that night.
Oh my god.
I got 0 credit.
You want to detective?
You can also get a nice pair of knee pads.
I was gonna say. What's going on, Internet? Welcome back to Only Cops. We are here with another Officers React. We are again here for The Rookie. This is Season 1, Episode 14, dealing with Plain Clothes Day.
Never did that.
Never did the Plain Clothes Day.
Well, that's not true.
Well,
I shadowed a unit and wore
plainish clothes?
Yeah.
I never did. I'm not that cool.
I wasn't really policing, though. I was just watching.
But either way, allegedly this happens in LAPD. Apparently a lot of weird stuff happens in LAPD. And we're going to take a look at it and see how realistic we think
You get
it
to
is.
plain clothes and FTO? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sure, why not?
Yeah. Sounds good.
We had CID, I guess. But that's not... I mean, you're doing detective work.
I guess, kind of.
Ish.
Shadowing
Ish.
again.
Yeah, anyways. We'll see how they do.
We'll see.
I'm sure it's shenanigans.
He swooped in like a bat out of hell and crashed into my car.
You hit me.
Whoa! Let's just start at the beginning, starting with you.
I had engine trouble. And if I wasn't such a good pilot, I would have crashed instead of making a controlled emergency landing. So I deserve a little more gratitude than attitude.
Sir, can you step over here, please? Those look like bullet holes.
What? No, those are bird strikes.
Oh, let me guess. The elusive brass jacketed hollow point?
Is that why you had engine trouble, sir? Because someone was shooting at you?
Why would anyone do that?
There we go, hands up.
Patrol, 7 Adam 15. Check in with OCPD. See if they have a 211 at Orange County Savings and Loan.
7 Adam 15. Be advised, the bank was robbed an hour ago. Suspect escaped in a blue helicopter.
We're not going hands on. We're just
Behind my
chill.
head, then?
Yep.
Hands behind your head.
OC was cool.
Why hands behind the head?
Yeah, I think it's
Put him behind your back.
an LAPD thing, I think.
But he was already compliant.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. This is the rookie. The rookie does.
How are you going to
weird
handcuff him with his hands above his head?
California
Whatever.
stuff?
Doesn't matter. Yeah. You're just wasting time.
I'm just
Giving
surprised. Like once you know kind of ish what you're looking at, like just for safety's sake, be like, hey, let's make sure. This
You mean
guy's
when the money flew out and you saw the
bullet
bank
holes
bags?
and- yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Seeing safety's for losers.
You know what? I need a little more gratitude than attitude from y'all in the comments.
I
Okay?
wasn't such a good pilot.
If I wasn't such a good YouTuber,
Yeah.
you guys would have nothing to watch.
Oh my god.
100 shifts.
So not a lot of rookies make it to this point in their probationary year,
It's a reason to celebrate.
but not too much.
For your first
Oh,
100
they're
shifts,
off
your training
FTO?
officers have been there to guide the way. Not today.
Plain clothes day.
That's right, Officer West. Very good. I'm sorry, what is plain
How did you make it this
Your
far?
TOs will be out of uniform, riding with you in a
Oh,
strictly
it's like
observational
Ghostface.
capacity.
Got it.
They will not advise, assist, or help you in any way. Every decision will be yours to make.
I was like
I really
Ghostface.
get
Yeah.
to choose where we eat for lunch. Yes, Officer Nolan. Arlington.
We didn't have it, but it used to be your last week in field training. You sometimes would get your own car and your FTO would follow you, or if they didn't have enough cars, your FTO would ride with you, but basically only intervened in emergency circumstances. You basically ran that week.
Yeah.
Like you were already on your own. So essentially, it's how we did PTO the whole time.
Yeah.
But there was no what do I do
What
here?
do you do? Yeah.
It was like they were not going to answer questions. They were not going to talk to you. They were not going to stop you from
Yeah.
making a mistake unless it was life-threatening.
something critical.
Which you shouldn't make it to ghost phase if you're going to make a life-threatening mistake.
Yeah, I think most of those, the closest we got was our final phase. We just called it final eval.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was to be very hands-off. I was really lucky. My field training officer, especially because it's 2 weeks of final observation.
Which for us was only 8 days.
Yeah.
It was only 8 shifts.
And so the first 4, it was just like, do you have questions? As opposed to making me do, he's like, just run the shift. That last one, he's like, I'm just your backup officer.
Yep.
That's it. That's all he. It was really cool. He actually did a really good job with that, I thought,
Mine
because
did
it
as
was
well.
nice to. It was nice to be like, if you want to go do traffic, go do traffic. You want to go look for stuff, go look for stuff, or you know.
Yeah, my last 2 weeks were with someone that I ended up working the shift with.
Yeah.
So it was very nice because he got to kind of see how I worked before I just got cut loose. So he was already comfortable with me on like working calls together and all that.
So it's a valuable phase, I think, because it's really the last time you're ever going to have the safety net of a fellow officer. You're still going to have your backup officer, or you'll have like senior officers on shift that if it's like a really hot call, will either take over or they'll at least advise, right? They'll give you some advice.
Yeah, they're not going to be dicks. Like, they'll help you.
But like this really, it is different. I think you get very accustomed to having someone kind of clean up after you all the time and make sure you're not screwing up. It's different when it's all on you.
Does this mean I finally get to choose where we eat for lunch? Yes, Officer Nolan. For all intents and purposes, today, you are alone. And that should scare the hell out of you.
This will be a true measure of where you are in the learning process.
Unless you had a good
And your
training
performance today could have a
program.
profound
It
impact
should
on your
not.
career
You
path
should be
in
more
this
than
department.
prepared for this.
Yeah.
If you had a good training thing.
Any questions?
Yes, sir. What happens if we get into real trouble?
Deal with it. And if you can't, your TO will step in.
Don't make no mistake. If that happens, you will be judged. That's it. Good luck out there.
Are you guys as excited about this as I am? We finally get to call the shots.
I know, right?
Whoa, slow down. You two realize that 20% of probationary officers that wash out of the program do it during plainclothes day.
Don't tell us that. Why would you tell us that?
Motivation.
They grow up so fast, don't they? Please, they're just as green as they were yesterday.
What are you looking at, boo? I'm not even here.
Let's go get our gear.
My washout number's 3. What
Wow.
about you?
Chen had googly eyes for Bradford.
Yeah.
Straight. Had 11 rookies bounce from the program during plainclothes day. Looking to make it an even dozen today.
Do not listen. They're just trying to psych us out.
Already making a mistake.
If we're not here, why get 2 kit bags?
No.
We're supposed to have 2 bags, just in case they have to take action. First mistake avoided.
So many left to make.
This is going to be a very long day.
One, Officer Worst shouldn't be giving anybody criticism about washing out because he shouldn't have made it past his first week on patrol. 2, yeah, Ghost Phase wasn't like this at all. Like
No.
this is, also, I think it's
But
odd.
I think because we used to do FTO and then they switched to PTO.
Yeah.
I think when our old department was FTO, this is what it was like. Like I actually think they showed up not in uniform.
No kidding.
I think. I don't know that for a fact. I could be completely wrong.
That's weird.
Like, but I think it was kind of like this.
They just chilled.
Yeah. I've heard different stories from different people.
I believe that.
Some people said that they followed in a different car. Some people said they rode with them. They just...
I bet it was also prescriptive depending on where that officer was. Because
Yeah.
ultimately they need to get you... Because there's a new academy class coming behind you, and those field training officers are very valuable.
going to be needed for...
Because they now need new rookies to go and coach up and do whatever. But, like, you shouldn't make it here unless you're ready. They should have failed you way before this.
Right.
You'd have to make, like, a poor judgment call. This is really what this is designed to do, is to test judgment.
But also you're not going to fail because you grabbed 2 bags instead of
Well,
one.
and technically they're only making a assessment. They're not actually the ones that decide whether or not you pass or fail. They're making a suggestion to command staff on how they feel about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as serious.
We're the last ones out.
I need reading materials.
Okay, you should know, I've been waiting for this day my entire life.
Wow, that's sad.
Did you know that my dad had an epic plainclothes day?
I don't care.
Made 4 felony arrests, wrote 7 traffic violations, and talked a woman off a ledge. So you see, I can't just...
So you're gonna break your father's records like you broke his academy records because you have daddy issues and the cat's in the cradle and all that crap.
I don't have daddy
She's
issues.
back to being my favorite.
Yeah.
No.
For the fleet, let's get on.
Oh, this can't be happening.
He left his cruise lights on. Killed the battery.
Come on. 2 hours to change a dead battery. I could have been on my 2nd arrest by now.
Look on the bright side. I bet your dad doesn't hold a record for longest automotive delay.
Okay, well, it's good to go.
Oh, finally. Back in business.
Lopez, I need your booth for a work detail.
Sure thing.
What? No. Sir, it's my plain clothes day.
Oh, I didn't know. In that case, I need you for a work detail. Evidence from a homicide. Catalog every single piece. Got it?
Yes, sir.
A detective should not be kicking that off to patrol.
Yeah, what is that?
This is the equivalent.
That's homicide evidence? And you're just going to give it to a rookie patrol officer?
Yeah, like that's the equivalent of like an administrator at a hospital going to a doctor and saying, you need to do the taxes for the hospital. So stop treating patients and go do, clerical work that I'm supposed to do.
I want to know if that really happens at LAPD.
Maybe LAPD's dumb like that. That's so, because it's such a big waste of his time. How do you evaluate a rookie on...
He has nothing to do with that case.
Yeah. So you just also, like, if that's actual evidence...
How is he supposed to categorize it, though?
Also, like, does he have a case number? How many doors and how many people had access to that while he was deciding on who
Where was this homicide? Was it in a car? Was it in a house? Was it in the street? Where'd the evidence come from?
That's what I'm getting at. So he's just going to do
no
a supplemental narrative that, hey, just by the way... Here's a bunch of evidence for an important-ass burglary or whatever.
That's crazy.
If that does happen there, I think that's really stupid. And also, like, not a valuable... That is a lazy detective not valuing a kid's training. On top of that, like, as a evaluator, what am I going to evaluate? Your penmanship?
I guess so.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
How nicely you seal the bag.
Now, from, like, a narrative standpoint, I get that this is, like, a stinger or whatever, something that's kind of funny that we're supposed to chuckle
It's to ruin his day.
But, like, from, like, a training standpoint, like, this is pretty bad. Like, we actually used to criticize FTOs that wouldn't let us do police work. You would get guys, you stopped enough cars, please stop.
Yeah.
We're going to sit and wait for calls.
Yeah.
I used to hate that.
Where you had the FTOs that refused to miss lunch.
Yeah. You have to sit there for 40 minutes staring at a training officer like...
Sitting at your own table.
Yeah, I was about to say, because you're 2 tables away staring at him, and you're like, I'm so glad I'm learning how to sit in a restaurant.
Yep.
That I'm never going to eat at because I bring my food because I didn't start policing in the 90s or whatever.
I also don't like...
I have complaints.
Greasy overnight food. So
anyways, this is stupid. This is kind of dumb. I hope this doesn't happen anywhere.
You gotta get me out of this, please.
No, I don't. The job's the job. Nothing in the rules says you have to spend plainclothes day out on patrol. Hey, you think I look cute in this?
This is a complete waste of time.
It's part of the job, Boot.
I did not become a police officer to do clerical work.
Yeah, well, if you don't, then whoever murdered Richard Ochoa might get off on a technicality at trial.
Yeah, I get all of that. But I should be out on the street. We only have
they
one
probably
plane.
have a whole evidence room for this.
Non-sworn staff?
Yeah.
That cost a lot less. Don't take manpower away from patrol that, like, has to answer emergency calls for service.
While he's
I wonder if the guy with the
writing
sweater
stuff
is now making a cup of coffee just the way that he likes it. Just
Probably.
to make sure that his day's not ruined and his carpal tunnel doesn't get any worse.
He probably has one of those really nice coffee makers.
Yeah.
Like the slow drip kind.
Yeah.
He measured out the coffee bean grounds and he put just like he actually measured it out down to like the milligrams?
Yep,
probably.
milligram. Yeah.
He put that in there. He got the water to like the specific temperature.
Yeah.
Like whatever, just above boiling so the coffee grounds don't taste burnt. He poured it in. He had a nice organic filter.
Yeah.
And then he started the machine and it just goes drip, drip.
It's one of those
and
like
then an
sand
hour
gardens.
later, he put his lactose-free soy creamer and he made the little leaf and just made it nice, and then he...
Though I respect the time served by people that typically make it, or sometimes don't make it, to detective, right?
Depends on the department. Clearly.
Agreed. When you and I both have feelings about this.
Talk about time served.
But if you're taking capacity away from the people that are doing the job that people are paying for, and that's when I pick up the phone and call 911 and have an emergency that requires law enforcement intervention, I'd like someone to show up. you were hurting the cause more than helping it. I know you like to haze rookies or whatever, or you feel like you've earned your time because you were doing that, but I'd like to think that because you understand how complicated and taxing that job is, that you would want to give as many resources as possible to the people still doing that.
7M15, RP heard sounds of an assault, 7944 Serrano Avenue.
Sounds of an assault.
Control, show me code 6.
By yourself?
Sir, we have another unit, 944 Serrano.
Code? Not code? Whatever.
Think you're gonna rip off my stash, and I'm just gonna take an IOU?
Probably not put this place.
Police, let him go!
Yeah. You're plainclothes officer, not.
All right, watch him.
What?
No. Wonder what he's taking those other guys for. Or was this the guy holding the guy, assaulting the guy? Or was this the guy doing the punching? You know, it'd be great. Some radio traffic.
What's that?
Yeah.
His hands are busy.
I have one detained. The fact that this guy's not deceased. This guy should be deceased.
Control, show me with who in custody. Where did he go?
Who?
My second suspect.
Oh, him? Well, he ran off, but hobbled, really.
I told you to watch him.
I'm not here to watch suspects, Officer Nolan, just you.
So you let him get away?
Of course not. I would never leave a suspect unattended, allowing ample time for his escape. But you did.
That's fair, I think.
If you showed up by yourself on a call like this, yeah, you 100% wouldn't be able to do that by yourself. You, depending on... There was this call that we did during one of the Thursday live streams. They were getting in a foot chase, and he was yelling at some random person, "Hey, stop them! Trip them!"
Oh, I remember
It's like, why don't you want to help? You know, aren't you a good citizen? Or it's like, well, no, I'm paying you to do this.
Meanwhile, he was fat and couldn't catch the suspect.
So,
yeah. I remember that.
I guess there is a lessons with Luis here, and that like you have to deal with only the like actual police
about
assets.
Luis.
Yeah, good old Luis.
Huh. Yeah,
but
all right.
I think there is maybe a lesson in there. However, I think it's pretty unrealistic to have because they're still technically on duty, but even a plainclothes officer just let that dude walk
after he tried to grab his gun.
Dude, this is like aggravated assault on a peace officer, and you're just gonna let that dude walk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
That'll teach him.
Letter of the law, cut of the law, kind of thing. Whatever, spirit of the law, whatever. Like,
I can't believe you did this just to have a teachable moment.
That's right, Officer Nolan. Keep blaming me for your lack of situational awareness.
I had to go after him.
Yes, but not before you secured your first suspect to something immobile. Instead of dreaming about becoming a detective, how about you try and just get through today?
Yes, ma'am. Ouch. Damn it, this guy could be anywhere.
Relax. From the crunch your suspect's knee made when you whacked him, I doubt he got very... Looks like you cracked the case,
shattered.
Detective.
Probably. Also, you're telling me no one called 911?
A random handcuffed person just staggered. Well,
handcuffed. There's so many nosy people everywhere.
That's true.
He's handcuffed and hobbling.
The Karen population density in LA County has got to be pretty high.
You would think.
Somebody called. Especially if you have somebody that's willing to call, like a third-party caller that I hear noises of a fight going on. That same person would have been like, there's also a random person in handcuffs limping down the hallway or down the sidewalk. Maybe she did.
I bet you're wondering what I am doing.
You're running all the plates in the lot, hoping to find one registered to a felon with a warrant.
Am I detecting a tone?
No tone.
What's wrong with running plates?
Nothing. It's one way to do the job. Make it all about you, beef up your felony arrests.
Okay, definitely detecting a felon.
No, not at all. I'm not even here.
If there's a call from dispatch, I'll take it. But all's quiet on the Western Front, so why not see if there's a felon I can get off the streets? That's self-initiated policing. It's pretty effective.
Or you could patrol your beat, engage the community, which deters crime from happening in the first place. That's proactive policing. Less felony arrests on your scorecard, but far more effective.
Well, it's a good thing I'm making the decisions today.
There was a lot of academic study in and about law enforcement as far as being static or being roaming or being spread out. And all of those studies, like universally, just simply said it has no effect on crime. It just simply displaces that crime. Wherever you are, crime will not be happening. Wherever you aren't is where the crime will. And it has zero effect on most violent crimes. You got to imagine like domestics, all of the ideations that can happen. Yeah.
I'm just with her because I spent so much time with an officer like him that didn't take care of his beat.
That's very true.
So,
also, there was a lot of radio traffic for there not to be anything going on.
Right.
Also, if they grab the PA mic one more time, acting like that's the radio mic, I'm going to be pissed. That's the PA mic every single time.
Maybe that's their radio mic.
Yeah. Google in-car radio, like Motorola handpiece, which is what they all have. That's what everybody ran. And then the Whelan, I think it is, handpiece for the PA. Two different little handpieces in there. That one you will realize is for their PA or public address system.
Bruh.
He's just going to yell at the city here, surrounding his car.
Yell at the felony hotel.
I just got a hit on that red expedition. Control 7 out of 15, sent back up for an ATO on a Marcus Quinn Cannon, felony arrest, arms trafficking.
That wasn't your radio.
Listen up. The felon we are after is one Marcus Quinn Cannon. Intel's led me to believe he's currently in room 104. Here I've drawn a detailed layout of the motel room. As you can see, there are
4 walls and a toilet, like every other motel room in the world. We really got to take orders from your boot.
He's in charge today, Smitty.
Trust me, I've got this all worked out. I'm going in first. Jensen, you're going to be covering seaside containment. Smitty, you'll be breaching. I'll come in straight. I want you to come swing around the open side. If I call trailer, you come from seaside to A-side, trail in behind us. Textbook dynamic entry.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, I'm green and go. Smitty?
Yeah, green and go.
That's precisely how an FTO and a senior patrol officer would look at you if you did this to them.
I would love to be a fly on the wall if that really happened.
Do you know how this conversation would have ended? The senior officer would have grabbed his, because they're weird like that, they would have grabbed his radio off his belt. He'd got on the radio and he'd have been like, 7 Adam 21?
Yeah.
Go ahead and show me 10-8. He'd have put his belt down, he'd have gotten his car and driven right off. Thank you for wasting my time. I thought you had something important for us to do.
What do you mean this is important? He's getting a felon off the street.
Yeah. There we go.
LAPD, open up! Breach! Show your hands!
Oh my God, what are you doing?
Bathroom clear.
Room clear. Where's Marcus Quinn Cannon?
Who?
The motel
The owner
guy.
of the red expedition outside. The motel manager said it belonged to the person in this room.
Yeah, me. I bought it from some guy on Craigslist like 3 days ago. I was just filling out the DMV change of title.
She's telling the truth, Officer Nolan.
I thought you weren't there. Why don't you shut your mouth?
Ma'am, I'm terribly sorry. Obviously, there's been a mistake.
Do you know how long it took me to get Liza down?
Good job, Boot.
Look her up. You can put her back to bed.
It's almost like if you did that while driving around, running license plates, and you could stop a car with a felony warrant on their license plate, which is pretty rare, honestly.
Pretty rare.
Felony warrants on license plates? You think that's just going to be driving around?
It's incredibly rare.
But it's almost like if you were driving around in your prescribed area, running plates, and then you actually saw someone in physical operation of the vehicle that had the felony warrant,
They'd have a really good investigative stop there.
Yeah, that'd be really crazy, wouldn't it?
And what's crazy too is when you stop the car and you call out the plate, dispatch would know that there was a felony warrant attached, and your backup would show up. Your backup would show up because you're a scared little new boot.
Or it's almost like if you wanted to do that, you would spend more than 10 minutes maybe seeing where that car went. Yeah. Maybe you follow it for 2 weeks. Yeah. Maybe you follow it from hotel to hotel. And then maybe when you see someone outside of it, you mark out with that person. And maybe that's not the person. So then you keep following the car. And then maybe you find that car driving on the road and you stop it and you talk to the driver who's not the person you're looking for, but they actually give you credible information about where they're at in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And then maybe when you go and knock on the door and they answer the door and they have 7 burglary warrants, you get to arrest them.
And not waste everybody's time.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know anything about that. And then get no credit for it.
I got 0 credit for it.
Hey, at least you got credit for his wasted time.
I guess that's true. I didn't waste anyone's time.
Yeah, you did not.
Except my own.
Except your own. Gotta love policing. These are true stories, make me so sad.
7 fresh burglary warrants. Just put on the system that night.
Oh my god. Who put them on?
Your favorite.
Was it really?
Uh-huh.
Dude, J-Rod was
her,
legit. I fucking love that bitch. She was such a... When she had a mat on for somebody...
Yeah.
Bro.
She thanked me. Well, she did thank me.
Well, it's because J-Rod gets it. She still gets after it. She does like an overtime shift like once a month.
To get out there?
Just to get on patrol.
Good for her.
Yeah. That old bitch. I love it. Dude, J-Rod was so cool.
Hi, officer. Hi. Do you have a moment?
Quick one. Yes, what is it?
So this might be a silly question, but I was wondering, how hard is it for someone to track your credit card purchases?
You mean like identity theft?
No, not like that. Like a regular person, but for a card that's in another name. Like, do the charges post immediately, or?
Tell you what, on the bottom of that card is the non-emergency number for the Mid-Wilshire Police Station. You give them a call, they'll have time to answer all your questions.
Who should I ask for?
Front desk, which is where I'm going to wind up if I don't get moving. You have a nice day. So, good news.
Hiding
taught the mother a swaddling method. Baby Liza is sleeping soundly.
I'm glad something positive came out of your time here.
Hang on, I wouldn't call what happened here today a total failure. You told us we can't predict outcome, only do our best to control it. I developed a strong, credible lead, and I commanded a flawless dynamic entry.
Where you terrorized a mother and her newborn child.
Now, if she was terrorized.
You know, had he asked what the person looked like renting the room, that probably could have solved this whole thing. Because if the guy said, oh yeah, that red Expedition is the person in room 104, why didn't you say, oh, what does the person renting room 104 look like? And he would have said, blonde woman with a child.
Mm-hmm.
I think his want-to-be detective brain there could figure out that that's probably not old buddy with trafficking charges.
So you also have to do an incident report because you pointed a gun at somebody?
A baby. Pointed a gun at a baby.
So you'll have to identify the 6-month-old baby, name, first, last name, date of birth, and then the mother, first, last name, date of birth, and put them in a report as I pointed a gun at them because I did a dynamic entry into a thing for a felony warrant.
On a hotel room that I did not properly investigate.
It was an effective use of force. I gained compliance, but it was for fun because there was nothing.
Yes, it was for fun.
Had to fill out one of those before.
All right.
Due to bullshit like this.
Betty comes back here later for a domestic.
Oh, from the lady? The second lady? Credit card lady, for sure.
If she was terrorized, would she have given me the address in Simi Valley where she purchased the car? Simi Valley PD is sending a unit to arrest our gun runner. They told me they'd give me a call as soon as he's in custody. Lunch?
When housekeeping came to service the room, they found this.
It's almost like she was worried about.
Control, notify the sergeant. Missing persons on a possible 207.
Copy that.
Why are you calling in Sergeant Gray?
I met
Yeah,
that
you
woman.
brushed her off.
She's the one who asked me for help.
I'm gonna food off the street.
Want to go to lunch?
Lynn McDaniels. She lives in Van Nuys with her husband, Chris, a trucker with a serious history of domestic violence. There's a bolo out for him now. Detectives are reaching out to friends and family. You should probably get back on the street.
Sergeant, if it's all the same, I'd like to stay attached to this.
I know. But standing here crossing fingers helps no one. When I hear something, you'll hear something.
419 Hayward Avenue.
Control, show me code 6. Clear.
Just poked my head. No flashlight? I thought you weren't here. Every time.
Okay, I know you're not here. I'm supposed to wait for backup.
Screw that. Let's go.
You smoked this, dude? Oh, yes.
You good? Don't do that again. 7 out of 15 shots fired. Requesting backup. Code 3.
Another one for Nolan. But not just one. Hey, what happened to the leg shot, dog?
Yeah, come on.
So, this is why, even on small things, give everything your due diligence and time invested so you don't have a random lady getting cut up by a knife in the back of an 18-wheeler. Just a couple lead. If you put as much energy into random running plates into just making sure that this lady doesn't have something weird going on, maybe not in the situation.
You could have got a felon off the street before he was able to torture and maybe kill his wife.
That's proactive.
Wow. Imagine that. Imagine saving a life instead of going into a parking lot to run license plates for known felons.
But technically, if he wasn't running license plates, he wouldn't have been there for the lady to ask something.
Okay, fair.
Hey, man.
Fair point.
Also, to be fair, she probably would have just called 911 anyway. And they still would have gotten dispatched.
Yeah, also, why didn't she just call 911?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
If she was on the run from her husband, she's clearly trying to hide from her husband, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't she just call 911?
Yeah.
Another fair point.
Yeah.
Also, I call BS that he kicked in that door.
Bro.
Those hotel doors are damn near indestructible.
Motel and hotel doors. Without like a breaching tool?
Well, and that door was dented. So
yeah. That's a lot of kicks.
Yeah, no one's kicking, like, you're getting that from ramming that door with something.
Yeah.
Not your foot.
Yeah.
Just wait outside. Me and the missus got some things to sort out. Then I'll turn myself in.
We wait, he kills her.
If we expose ourselves, they'll shoot us.
Can you drive a rig?
That's a bad idea.
Then I'm going now. He shoots me, you shoot him.
Gentlemen.
Oh, have
Hey,
earpieces.
Chris, how about we talk? You and me.
What's there to talk
where?
about?
Where's
You're
it
letting
going?
your wife go.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, there's no handpiece. Yeah. They got some that run.
Standing by.
She promised forever, then left.
Chris, I know how you feel, man. I was married too. 20 years. One day I come home, there's a note on the table, tells me it's over. It hurts.
It's hard for your light, dog.
Don't patronize me. You don't know me. What she's done to me. You've never been in my shoes.
You're right. Start the countdown.
3.
You're right, I haven't been in your shoes, Chris. My marriage ended because we drifted apart.
2.
Your marriage failed because you're a low-life domestic abuser.
1. Brace.
Yeah, low gear wouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Aww, we're gonna go and wrestle with Knife Guy? Come on.
Well,
Get off of me!
you know that he doesn't want another OIS.
That's true.
The first one almost ended his career.
He was finally gonna kill me.
You're safe.
I got you.
Where's the gun?
Control, 1 in custody. Send an RA unit. Show us code 4.
Unorthodox, but one way of doing it. I guess in a pinch, if you know how to get that thing into first gear and just slam it on home to get him to shimmy. I think that's a reasonable thing to do.
Or you could have shot him when you walked in and he didn't know you were there.
I was like, oh, we're smoking this guy, right? And, oh, sir, please stop.
Like,
yeah. That's
I understand it might look bad, it might sound bad, but he's already kidnapped her. He's already assaulted her.
Yeah.
He has a knife in one hand and a gun in the other. I think you're okay.
Yeah.
Just ending the threat to life.
Defense of a third person is going to stand in, law enforcement or otherwise. My issue again is that the show has again set an incredibly unrealistic expectation for preserving the life of the suspect in this instance with no regard to the victim. The reason I bring this up is, let's say she gets even more injured due to them not acting, right? Which happened.
What if when she did that, he cuts her throat?
Sure. Yeah.
That's not that unrealistic.
Yeah.
If he tries to brace himself with the knife at her neck.
And do a shimmy on the truck. And yeah. All I'm getting at is you do owe it to just like the whole function for you as a police officer is to keep the peace. I do like peace officer at times as a description, but like the whole idea is like if there's an instance where there's harm coming to somebody, you're supposed to stop that. Was it to stop the killing, stop the dying,
right?
Kind of thing, right? And sometimes that does require deadly force. That's why you're issued the firearm. In all parts of the world, there are police officers issued firearms because there's bad people in this world that are doing bad people things. Preservation of life definitely becomes a thing. I have issue with how much they're trying to placate the situation that it's realistic for them to take these people into custody without leveraging only the threat of deadly force. I'm not saying it's always the solution, and maybe there's some cool ways you can get around it. Sure. But, like, this show consistently gives people too many outs on saying, well, I saw it on the rookie that they could have totally done this, they should have totally done this.
Yeah.
Because it sets a weird precedence for people, especially like in civil court, where it's preponderance of the evidence as opposed to beyond reasonable doubt, that more could have been done for the suspect or on the suspect's behalf, as opposed to evaluating the situation as it is. And it's like, well, if the victim's not going to get any form of reparations from the suspect,
right,
with him sitting in prison, so I'm just going to try to minimize the amount of exposure that victim has to the suspect. It's the only thing I really can do in that instance. And negotiating with him while he's already actively committing aggravated assault is not going to help the victim be injured less, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I have issue with it because it's if you were the person there, what would you want? Right? You're stuck in the back of the 18 with a creepy dude. You probably want
with a knife,
expeditious assistance in making him stop doing what he's doing to you. That's all I'm getting at. And there's legal precedence that it's advisable and reasonable to act in that manner. Stop doing this, the rookie.
This is only season 1.
I know.
Hey.
Hey, hell of a day.
Yes. And I really should have stopped and talked to that woman instead of brushing her off with a business card. I was just so focused on being seen as a man of action rather than some cop halfway out the pasture.
You want my advice?
Please.
Stop trying to be like the other rookies, because you're not. Jackson is 20 years from having his first colonoscopy, and Lucy has never even owned a pet, let alone raised a kid. You're a grown man, fully formed. So stop treating it like it's a liability and treat it like what it is, a strength. Sure, you can be annoying, and you talk way too damn much.
I got accused of that.
But you also listen to people's troubles, to their complaints.
Also from my FTOs.
That type of empathy can't be taught.
Yeah, that too.
It's only earned. So if you really want to make detective, the only way to do it is to be you.
You want to make detective?
You can also get a nice pair of knee pads.
I was gonna say 5'11's got some.
Maybe not
India
him.
pants.
Maybe not him.
Maybe not him.
He might not be the right.
Yeah.
You might find the right.
I was gonna say it depends. It depends. Yeah. Especially in a.
It was good advice.
Yeah, it was good sound advice. We're just jaded. Don't listen to us, unless it's something like specifically like legally related.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a cultural thing, don't listen to us. We're just jaded.
What are you doing?
Filled out your evaluation.
But we haven't even left yet.
Yeah. I already know how today's gonna go.
No, you don't. You're just trying to get in my head, but it won't work.
You're doing great.
Don't open it.
Burn your seatbelt. Negative points.
Whatever you wrote in here, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
I knew you'd say that.
What if it was good?
It's in there.
Why would a guy from the power company need a video camera?
Why don't you go ask him?
Yeah.
You're a cop.
Also, seatbelt on a residential road. Come on.
No way, dude.
Come on.
That sick bastard. He's filming her.
He just wants to show her that people can see her from the street. Weirdly enough, this isn't illegal. There's no expectation of privacy if you don't have like blinds or whatever. So I'm not encouraging do it.
Damn.
Easy. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, well, your camera says otherwise. Do you even work at the power company?
I was gonna laugh if there was like a squirrel on that.
You're gonna need one.
Or something like that, like they
Team
pull
shows
it
one
out.
in custody, third in Arden. Did you include this arrest in your evaluation, Officer Bradford?
What are you arresting him for?
Yeah.
Watch your head. Get in.
Is she
Just got off the phone
gonna
with
complain?
dispatch.
She needs to
My
complain as a
suspect,
victim.
Todd Collins, is on parole for a 261.
This is what's interesting about this. So the amount of force used was a lot. Don't get me wrong, he was running, but he could have just had an impromptu cardio session, to be fair.
Also, you could have drove just past him, jumped out, and probably
tackled him.
He was not running that
Can you
fast.
imagine he fell under the car when she did that? She gives him this smack and he goes under the back tires. And... Like, what deadly threat did this person pose to you? Or were they just simply running? On the use of
I still
force
want to know what the
continuum-
offense was.
Yeah. So, legally speaking, right, Peeping Tom laws absolutely exist, and
Yeah.
you can't be doing it. But typically, you're going to have to go up against an easement or something
Yeah,
of
'cause
that
he was
nature.
on
where
the city-owned part of the sidewalk.
you're
I
on a
guess,
city-owned
street,
part of it,
whatever.
and then the victim here in this instance, if she is indeed a victim, right, and she decides to complain about this, didn't do anything to try to obscure. Like, let's say a child were to have seen this, right, and she's doing some sort of lewd act or lewd thing, and a child happens to see this from the sidewalk. Is she now my suspect for, like, indecent exposure to a child? Let's switch this, and it's the creepy guy standing in the window doing something, again, lewd or inappropriate, and she's the one that sees it. Is she a victim from the sidewalk? Because
Yes.
she can now... You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying.
Just because it's gross.
Yeah, just because it's gross. All I'm getting at is like that there has to be a legal precedence for it. If he's in a place where he's legally allowed to be, and the person asking for privacy isn't doing anything to try to maintain that privacy, is this really a criminal act? It's an interesting argument because now you just used a lot of force to detain this guy. And that's going to come out in a defense.
So you're going to hit him with resisting?
You know what I mean? For running, impromptu running. Did you say stop? Whatever it is. It'd be interesting to see how this actually plays out because it does matter as to whether or not you have enough for the offense, especially if you're going to utilize force because now you're looking at lawsuits, now you're looking at whatever. A defense attorney...
Especially if he's really injured.
Yeah.
Like if he got really injured from that.
It matters. Whether or not you think that charge is going to stick really does matter because this could be a $10 million lawsuit that just happened right in front of us.
Just got off the phone with dispatch. My suspect, Todd Collins, is on parole for a 261.
He's a Tier 3 sex offender and a 290. Violent
Still
habitual.
not.
That's a pretty good arrest, huh?
Illegal, though.
Let's see. I've got my victim's statement, seized my suspect's phone, canvas for witnesses. Yep, good to go. What?
Didn't say anything.
But you're giving me the look.
What look?
That look. Am I missing something? Wait, don't answer that.
Wasn't going to.
Good. Because I made a solid pinch here.
Guessing that's his van?
Yep.
In a no parking zone?
Yep. Probably filled with CP or something, dude.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I know everything you're gonna do, Boat. Just like I knew you wouldn't process all your suspect's property.
What are you talking about? I took everything Todd Collins had. Wallet, camera, phone, keys.
Keys.
So tell me, how did Peeping Todd get to where you arrested him?
He drove. Like I said, I have his car keys.
But not his car. Look, most child sex offenders have a network with other offenders. They share videos of their sick desires, which leads to other victims, other suspects. Where do you think they keep this cornucopia of evidence?
In their cars.
That's right.
In case parole officers search their houses.
His car is a treasure trove of evidence. Other crimes, more victims, DNA, evidence we may never have obtained otherwise. And you just left it in the street.
He was fiddling with his phone the entire time he was running.
Hope she fills out the form.
Cops got me. Get my van.
You recall seeing a van, Boot?
There was that blue van. That work van. It was right there.
What kind of parking? You can't park there.
Also, she drove code 3 to go
For
collect
evidence?
evidence that she forgot. What?
That would be a write-up for sure.
Okay. Good
Hey,
job, Chen.
We got a $10 million lawsuit and a violation. and
Well,
write-up
I guess
for-
they're going to say it was some kind of child.
Yeah, if it's CP, I guess it makes
Protective
sense.
law.
Yeah.
Control, we need a reverse directory on a vehicle registered to Todd Collins.
7 out of 9.
No date of birth?
Owns a blue
Todd
98
Collins?
Econoline E350 van with California
Hey,
plates.
good dispatch.
Don't worry, dispatch found it.
Item 0903.
Already.
It shows the vehicle was impounded from your location an hour ago.
You had the van impounded?
Once it was clear you overlooked that detail.
But then why did we race over here?
So you could discover your own mistake. That's what today is all about, Boot.
Well, and it's just a bonus that you get to humiliate me?
Don't blame
Yes.
me for the fact
You
that you let yourself
humiliated
get rattled by
yourself.
one dubious look. Now, you make it out here, find yourself riding solo. These streets will test you in ways you didn't think possible. The only way to survive is to control your environment at all times.
She's like, that's hot. You know, that's exactly
I love how authoritative
Damn,
he
that's
is.
Yeah, so Chen trying to trad wife it here in the streets. I mean, this is it is true. That shouldn't.
His explanation said it
Yeah,
perfectly.
that's the lowest barrier of entry for being a police officer is handle up. I don't know. We'll keep going. There's not much to learn there. He crushed it. There you go, Chen.
Hello? LAPD,
Still call that
anyone home?
dispatcher back, huh?
Hey, girl. Okay.
Not exactly what I meant by control your environment.
That dog barks all the time. Ma'am, do you know if the dog's owner is home? Mm-hmm.
Shut up. Shut up, Missy.
Hey, whoa, there's no need for that.
Honey, she's my dog. I can treat her however the hell I want.
Sir, we've
Wrong.
received a complaint about your dog.
And I wonder who made it. Emma, you call the damn cops?
Your dog's a menace. It's bark, bark, bark all day long.
It's a dog. It's kind of their thing.
Ma'am, just step aside. I'll handle this. So you need to try to keep your dog from barking.
No problem. I'm good at making bitches shut their mouths.
Nice.
Have a nice day, sir. Hey, stop
Do it.
kicking dirt at the dog, or else.
Or else what? If I have to come back here, or even get a whiff that you were abusing this animal, I will make you my personal project. Do you understand?
You can't get a whiff already?
Yeah.
I'd say I controlled that environment.
I wouldn't.
No. Like failed the test instantaneously after. Like, you're gonna deal with scummy people. You don't. That doesn't get to dictate how you do or do not enforce the law. I don't know, man. She is not doing well.
No.
Come on, Chen.
Sir, dispatch says you wanted to see us.
Yeah, shut the door. You know, I remember my plainclothes day. It was a long time ago, but I remember it. Desperate to make an impression, my T.O. watching me like a hawk. But the pressure got to me, and I made all kinds of mistakes. Stupid ones, too. And completely out of character. Which is why, Officer Chen, I sympathize with your situation.
Sir?
I got a rude conduct complaint against you from a Rodney Acker. Said you verbally threatened him to get his dog in line or else.
Any way to cool this guy off, sir?
So I tried, but he's pretty dug in. He wants to make it formal. So Internal Affairs has been notified. Captain Anderson is in meetings all day, but she wants to talk to you at the end of shift.
Sir, what kind of disciplinary action am I looking at?
Don't get ahead of yourself.
She should know. Threatening a civilian is a serious offense for any officer. But to do it as a probationary employee, even a minor infraction, can have a serious impact.
How serious?
Termination.
Worst case scenario, I'll give my 12th rookie to wash out on plainclothes day.
I'm also not so sure why he's so proud of that.
Yeah. It's like a failure to train your recruits.
Because you're with them leading up to them.
Yep. You have plenty of... You've literally weeks,
so why
if
are they
not months.
Why are they not prepared enough to do plainclothes day?
I was going to say, to prepare them to be independent little thinkers that are good detectives and know how to handle situations and not be dirtbags.
This man filed a complaint.
Oh, we know
against
stalking
me.
this guy?
I guess.
You're right. You shouldn't be here. I'm fine.
Aren't I supposed to be making all the decisions today?
You are. And right now you decided to let me save your job.
Sir, it means a lot that you care about my future as an officer.
Oh, God, relax, Boot. I simply believe that if you're going to get fired, it'll be because of me. Not some asshat's rude conduct complaint. Stay here. LAPD.
This is when their love story begins.
What do you want? Here's the thing, Mr. Acker. Officer Chen got a little overzealous.
You call it overzealous? I call it a threat under the color of authority. We'll see what a jury decides.
Hey, look, you're upset. That's understandable. So perhaps we can work this out.
Go on, keep talking.
Look, if there's anything I can do for you, anything you might need a police officer's assistance with, you just let me...
Watch Commander, please.
Why are you calling my boss?
Because I'm gonna make a harassment complaint against you too, pal.
Have a good night, sir.
I will. You? I'm not so sure.
How'd it go?
Drive.
Hold on. Is that blood?
Oh.
Could be blood. Could be something else.
But it could be blood, which gives me PC. I could search that garage.
Look, if you're wrong, he'll claim you're retaliating against him. You'll definitely be fired, and he'll just add another 0 to a settlement check.
I was
with the
about to
city.
say.
Smart move here is to walk away. So what's it gonna be, Boo? It's your call.
But I'm not smart, because I got dad issues.
You're walking away if you see blood and the dog acting like that?
Dude, no. But,
Come on.
But I also wouldn't have been rattled by some guy that's yelling.
Well, I guess that's
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Look, I would have been fine.
You
I've
wouldn't
been
be
like,
facing the complaint
Exactly.
already. I get it, but like,
But yeah,
she's not wrong.
she's not wrong. Be nervous about getting smoked.
No, don't open that!
Oh, it's the neighbor.
It was an accident. She got in my face. She just wouldn't shut up.
You're under arrest.
Get on the ground.
Wow, that was weak sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. Behind your back. You're under arrest.
For murder.
Did that complaints going away?
Shut up, Missy.
Good dog.
Good dog.
I wish the dog would have bit him.
I'm a little sad. So the reality, just to not to. So we'll start off with the evaluation. Good job on them seeing the blood and doing the investigation and finding the murderer. Like shout out and whatever. It sets a bad precedent for retaliation because 9 times out of 10, you're getting complained on. You're never going there ever again because of that reason. However, the reality of the situation, dog goes to the pound. Dog's getting put down because nobody's gonna take care of the dog. And we take one more because the thing wasn't settled right then and there. Ladies
Maybe
not
Chen
dead.
takes the dog.
Maybe Chen does take the dog. I guess we'll see. But just understand that like there's a net loss here in general because we have a murdered lady.
Yeah.
This poor dog that's got nowhere to go now. And well, I guess the dog would be evidence.
Kind of.
Yeah.
The dog kind of gave it away.
Yeah.
Get him to testify.
Yeah.
Paw
Paw on Bible.
on Bible.
Raise your right paw.
I was gonna say.
No, your right paw.
You're right, Paul.
End of shift, Boo. Don't you want to open your evaluation?
Why? Captain's probably gonna fire me, so what does it even matter now?
Just do it.
Sure you did.
You think the complaint matters now that he's been arrested for murder?
Yeah. Perfect.
Officer Chen second-guessed every decision she made.
The whole point of me doing this was to get under your skin.
Clearly you did, sir.
Yeah, until the end. Because when it really counted, you didn't hesitate. You put it all on the line and you made the right call. Which really pisses me off because now I gotta rewrite the damn thing.
Tim, what's gonna happen to me?
Me, baby.
Officer Chen, step inside.
Me.
You told Mr. Acker, and I quote, "I will make you my personal project." Nice. Kind of retro, very 1990s Rampart scandal.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
In today's LAPD, especially my house, we don't threaten people. Not even the murderers.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it really a threat?
Do it. No. There's a promise.
I mean, she did come back and find out that he murdered a woman.
Yeah.
It was foreshadowing.
Yeah, it was foreshadowing.
Yes, ma'am. Those words do not reflect the officer I am or the one I wish to be.
Fine. You may go.
Ma'am? So I'm still in the program?
Internal Affairs reached out. They wanted my take on this complaint. I'll recommend that they close it out based on the circumstances.
Thank you, ma'am.
Because if you ever let this job down again, I will not hesitate to put you on a career path far away from the LAPD. Do you understand? Dismissed. Officer Bradford.
Get out them knee pads.
He probably would.
He probably would. Oh, you still gotta call it dispatcher Mac.
She doesn't like complicated,
she doesn't like
remember?
complicated.
Never met a dispatcher that said that, though.
No. We're about to piss off. There's like 2 or 3 videos now where there's no love lost between us and the other first responders of the group here. But,
Wait a minute. No.
I used air quotes.
Okay.
Hey, but we're on the same page. Come on now.
All right.
Like I said, we did not have a plain clothes phase, so I can't speak to what that was like. But we did
Not like that.
Yeah, we had a final eval phase where basically.
I also never had an FTO that like tried to make me nervous to make mistakes.
No, because you're like the job in and of itself is going to make you nervous. So unless I guess you're in a very boring city, which LAPD would not be that.
Yeah.
I could see maybe like in a very quiet county where maybe they do that to try to pressure test you, especially if all you're going to be doing is like noise complaints and traffic accidents the whole time. But really, the academy should be doing most of that, and early field training should be most of that. You're going to be able to tell a lot from an officer based on what they're doing and how they handle the stress of just being there and being evaluated. But at the end of the day, like, if a recruit is doing very poorly, it's a reflection on recruiting to begin with, because they decided that this applicant was worth it, and then the training officer's inability to find a way to get that recruit to understand the present. And people should fail FTO. People should fail academy. If they're not, then your standards aren't high enough. If you have a 100% pass rate, that's that No Child Left Behind thing that we had a few years ago that didn't work out very great. You can kind of look at the general decline of academic performance. You're going to eventually start to see that a lot as police departments are having to lower standards for recruits. They're having to lower those standards, and you're probably going to see, unfortunately, poor performing police officers when the job matters.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, vote, care. I'll watch content like this and harass command staff to do better, because they're the reasons why these recruits are failing, because they're failing to recruit good people or make the job appealing to people that should be doing the job.
And then also stop promoting bad cops.
Bro. Or
that seems to be a trend.
Yeah.
Like, you promote the bad cop to get them off the street,
yep.
But then they're a supervisor over cops, which then make 5 bad cops instead of 1.
Yep. Or you're alienating the cops that are good, that should be there, that don't get promoted, that then leave because they can't work under somebody like that.
Right.
Wouldn't know anything about that.
Same.
So anyways.
Not at all.
If you guys like this type of content, we produce this stuff all the time. Producer Juan, who's behind the camera, and our assistant, Megan, she has been cranking out on editing stuff. We release these things periodically. We should have a lot more rookie episodes coming up for you guys, since you guys like this. And if you really want to get involved, we do go live twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And if you want to see us 24/7, you can join our Patreon group. For as little as $1 a month, you can get direct access to our Discord. We do movie night, bonsai night, a bunch of fun stuff. You guys can see us all the time and get cool community perks for taking time with us. So until next time, thank you for riding 2-man with us. Peace.